Hi guys, welcome to week 2, storyboarding and story structure. This week we're going to talk about storyboards and writing the structure of your stories. So I have an example of a storyboard right here. After you write the content of the story, you can develop it into a visual representation through sketches, drawings, or still images that will represent the film or story you will make out of that content. So this is a storyboard from my second book rather. So I have these small sketchy panels, and it was really helpful for me to, before I made the book or made the detailed drawings for the book, to see an overview of how that story would flow. So these are my first storyboards, and then it later became this book. Storyboards are great because when I was in this process, if I could make a first draft of the entire thing, and then if I didn't like the way it flowed, or if I felt like I wanted a more exciting scene, I could easily just take it out. These are done on Post-it notes, and put in a new one, or even reorder the scenes to be in a different order. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen and show you what you're going to be up to for this week. All right. Okay. So you're going to start, of course, in your weekly folder. So weekly folder, week 2, how do we visualize our stories? All right, so this week has actually 4 components. First, you're going to watch the lecture. You're going to do the other readings and watch the content and do a discussion board post. And then you have an assignment due on this coming Sunday. All right, so let me just quickly go into these folders. So everything is here and these are different folders. So first go into the lecture and folders to, all right, lecture. You're going to watch this lecture that I recorded. You can also see the slideshow here separately, and you can look at the PDF of my first book, Geraldine, which I have here. This is a PDF that I go over and read to you in the lecture, and we talk about it as an example of story structure. So you can read it here separately if you want to think more about that example. Okay, so let's go back. Then you're going to go into the content and readings. There's a few readings, mostly expanding on things that were in the lecture. And there's a video where Seth Rogen explains the difference between plot and story. There's also 2 optional pieces of content, a video from Scott McCloud about making comics and applying the story circle to academic writing. Okay, so next we're going to go to your discussion board and make a discussion board post. So this is actually kind of a small mini assignment. You're going to read the week's course materials, then look back on your responses from last week and use one of the answers that you wrote in week 1 about going to the movies to draw a simple 6 to 9 panel storyboard out of that story. Okay, you might need to flesh out a few sentences from that story to make it feel more like a complete story. Try to find the conclusion or moment of reflection of some kind within that story from last week to make it feel more complete and satisfying. Okay, in the week 2 folder, you'll find a storyboard template folder. So let me show you that. It's right here, storyboard templates for discussion forum. You can use this 6 panel, 8 panel, or 9 panel. And you can either print it out or use it on an iPad or a digital device and draw over it to make your storyboard. Or if you don't feel like doing either of those methods, you could even just get a blank piece of paper and some Post-it notes or tiny pieces of paper and draw your storyboard that way. So I recommend Post-it notes. It's easy to move them around. So you go find a template or start with just a blank piece of paper or Post-it notes. Then draw their storyboard and take a picture of it and upload it in your discussion board post. There's some more details here. So I suggest about this post requirement. So I suggest you use the story circle or a 3-act structure to figure out what your story beats will be to use for the storyboard. and figure out your characters, your setting, and also write underneath if there's underneath each panel what the action is that's happening and if there's any dialogue or sound effects or even music. So also, this is just stick figures. If you see these examples, no one expects any of us to be a great artist or drawer. That's not a requirement. Just use this as a way to think about your ideas. Okay. The initial post of this is due midnight on Wednesday. Then view 2 of your classmates' posts. For each one, think about a slightly different way that you could tell this story. For example, a different point of view or a different camera angle, a different moment in the story, and explain in one sentence how your alternate idea would change the story. So the responses are due at 5 o'clock on Friday. Okay, so let's go back to the weekly folder, week 2. So once you've done the lecture, with content and readings and storyboarding, then this coming Sunday, you're actually going to have to do an assignment. That's the first assignment due for this semester. Here's a link to the assignment itself, which is also in this tab, assignments and quizzes. It's due Sunday, February 13th. Okay, so let's go back to the weekly folder. I have a video here explaining in more detail how to do the assignment. There's also some other links here that are helpful. So you're going to use a program called Storyboard That, which will allow you to build a storyboard that looks like this without any drawing. You just use their tools to put in backgrounds, characters, poses, everything, including dialogue and words, to make a 6-panel storyboard based on an Aesop's Fable story. There's a website here and also inside of the assignment like a post that has a link to all the stories that are options for that and the website to make your storyboard. Okay, so then again, this storyboard assignment, you won't post it online and you get your classmates' feedback. You just turn it in by clicking that link and uploading your final storyboard here. Okay, so that is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so that's your explanation for this week. I'm really excited to see what you guys all come up with. A lot of people posted in their initial post what they want to get out of the class. They wanted to learn more about writing, story structure, and using technical tools to create more of like a structured story. So I think this week will be really fun to get into that content. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.